Nate, your mic sounds rooted up.
What's good, everybody? It's your gearhead, Mr. Logic, yo. And you know what time it is, man. Let me introduce my lovely co-host.
Hi, guys. Hello. Yellow. It's your girl, Nate.
A lot of crazy things, ain't it? It's been a crazy week.
So crazy.
So, guys, make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button. And then before we get into it, let's do a proper introduction this time. This is one thing for show, two things for certain. See, I did that one good because last time I butchered the shit out of it.
You were exhausted.
Yeah, I was. So, as you guys know, we always fall off with tradition. So, what's up, Nate? How was your week so far?
Oh, my goodness. Well, like I've said before, I'm not an interesting person.
How you gonna
Just
say you're
work.
not an interesting person?
Just work. All I do is work and study and go to school and just,
You also do other things too. Come on now.
yeah, but it's like your regular people work, you know,
I mean, shit.
productivity.
What about you? Might have seen some shit go down.
I mean, let me tell you, because I was doing homework the other day, and don't you just fucking hate it when they give you an example of how to complete the problem,
Mhm.
and then you get to the problems, and it's nothing like the example, and I'm like,
Listen,
what the fuck?
I come from an era where you know how you use calculators to do the question and whatnot. So say I use a calculator and I still don't get the right answer. I choose the answer that's closest to the number I got.
Bruh.
Educated guess. That's just how it goes. So, how's school?
I cannot wait to graduate. Let me tell you.
One step closer. How much time you got left?
Expected graduation date is this summer. So June.
Okay, that's what's up. And how's work?
Let's talk about you.
We'll get to that, but right now we're talking about you.
What else can I possibly say?
Anything?
I am a normal person that has a regular 9-to-5 job. Oh, sorry. I'm talking about
A 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is a beautiful, horrible thing.
It is absolutely atrocious, especially if you work in customer service. I take that back. I like my job, but I don't like the customers because customer service, bro.
I hate people.
Like, there's just so many stories that my brain is scrambled. I can't possibly like fathom one up of how annoying people can be.
It never fails to amaze you. Just when you think you see it all, life is like, yo, hold my beer. I'm about to show you some shit. My week has been really crazy. I like to celebrate because your man's just got his ticket to Vegas.
Woo!
Going with the squad, you know, Bert Lewis. It's about to go down.
Not me.
Well,
let me tell you. Hold up, guys.
Here we go.
Let me. So, Jason wanted to go to Vegas, around his birthday, and he was planning on going by himself.
Like I always do.
Yeah, but then things changed, you know, like because of his job, you know, he really couldn't get his like birthday week off. He ended up moving it up to like February. Yep. And Lewis ended up inviting himself and like
no, Lewis didn't invite himself.
They didn't?
No. So what happened was I was talking about my trip and Bert, shout out to Bert. We love you, Doug. OG. He's like, yo, that's gonna be fun. We should all go. And I'm just like
social interaction.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You're right. I always go by myself. This one will be nice. How? First Bert's like, okay, I'm going with you. Then Lewis comes in. Lewis, you're coming to Vegas. And I'm like, I love you, Bert. But I was like, oh, okay.
I just thought it was going to be like a guy's thing, which was fine with me. Like, I'm not upset.
Do I look like the type to do guy things?
What?
Do I look like the type to be like, oh, this we're going on and guys?
You look like the type to get dragged into guy things.
I'll take that. But either way, it's going to be dope. You know what I'm saying? I got my boy Brian out there. Mad love. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait to catch up with you and shit. Vegas, listen, Vegas, I love Vegas because it's peaceful. I'm not talking about the strip. They got great parks, great locals. We could do karaoke, and the food scene is crazy. Every time I go, I hit In and Out, first place I go, because, you know, your boy's a West Coast head. And then you got Hell's Kitchen. They got a Korean food spot that I'm going to take the boys to. And then, you know, we about to relive our dirty 30s before I turn 40. You feel me?
Does it snow in Las Vegas?
Yes and no. It depends.
Oh, like if you're more north of what?
Like
Nevada,
if you go
like
towards the mountains and stuff like that, yeah, I'll start slowing.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened to me last year. I wasn't able to go to the parks because it was way too cold and I didn't pack the right stuff.
Oh,
But on some other end, work is going good. I feel good in the sense of like everything is working right. My portfolio's on point, making the right investments. This is where I said, this year I feel like it's going good, but at the same time, I think people need to be prepared because if you're going to attain your goals, understand life is going to stretch you. It's going to put you through some shit, but it's going to be worth it in the end. I think for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think because how shit was in 2023, it was so chaotic and stressful that we're all determined now to get it done. And I feel like this time I see people with a fire underneath their ass and they're so driven and focused and I love it. You know what I'm saying? No excuses, Either you can or you can't. And if you think that way, you're right. Either which way you think. So I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm attaining and I know I'm going to get it. I firmly believe that. I know that. So you manifest it.
I get you. It's very important to work on your shit like in silence because.
And also I'm looking for an apartment, man. And let me tell you, it is, oh my God, it is crazy that in Kendall, where I've been living the majority of my life, the price, if it's affordable, it's not available, right? I was thinking, okay, I'm willing to spend like maybe $1,800 max. Let me tell you something. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but screw these people who be putting up like efficiencies up and shit. And efficiency, they want $1,700 for 300 square feet. You have no washing, no laundry. You have no stove. You have a microwave on top of a fucking mini fridge. And once you walk into the door, that is the basement and everything. And they want like $1,700 for that. This is honestly, it ought to be illegal. I'm being very honest. And the reason why I say it ought to be illegal, Miami is getting to a point, it's so expensive that you have to literally, if you move out, most people that I know move out have the situation where it's like, oh, do I eat or do I pay? You know what I'm saying? Like it's tight and it's not the brand. I make very good money with what I do. Mm-hmm. And the fact that I'm getting paid really good and for me to make that move would be such a big inconvenience. It's scary because I got to get a car because shorty who hit me head on, I got to deal with that. I don't want to basically live comfortably 100%, but I want to be in a position where I'm good. And like, as I look around, bro, like everything's a hustle.
Have you thought of like moving more like up north? Have you tried to route? I know Miramar's a little far,
but I'll do it.
That's a nice area.
It is. So imagine this. I was looking for a place to live in Doral, right? And what's crazy about that is the rent they were asking was $23. I was like, okay, that's kind of steep, but I could do it. Then I look at the requirements. They want first, last, and a deposit, right?
Okay.
You know how much that would come out to? It's almost $7,000 to move out.
No way.
Like, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna get to Marvin, but first, that isn't rocks as Miramar is shit. You're probably absolutely right.
Depends. East or west.
I have never lived in Miramar in my life. I have gone there a few times, and the areas that I've been were probably the areas that looked nice. So I'm probably talking on my ass. But I believe you that it's probably shit. I've heard mixed reviews about it, that if you go to like in a bad area compared to like a good one. So
okay. So hold on. Let's go to the comment section real quick.
Yes. It's Marvin.
Marvin, what up, baby? What's going on, dog? So
he asked a very important question.
Random question for later in the show. I saw this question and thought it was interesting. If you had a choice between immediately getting $1 million or spending 5 minutes with God, which would you choose and why?
Dude.
I'll let you answer that one. I'll answer after. $1 million or 5 minutes with God?
Oh my God. That's a tough one.
Not for me.
I mean, it's only tough because I'm scared of choosing the God choice. Like,
why is that?
Scared in terms of like, not scared. Oh my God, I'm scared for my life, but just like nervous. Like, I believe in God. I was raised Catholic by my mom, and even though I don't practice anymore, I still believe. And over like time, have gotten used to the idea of, okay, like we're all gonna die at some point, and become at peace with death. And I've learned to become a lot less scared of death just by knowing Jason and everything that he's told me about. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad, you know? And choosing $1 million feels greedy, but then choosing God is like, you know, what if you meet him and you come back to your normal life and nothing's the same?
Well,
and then you have
gain
to
wisdom after meeting him.
You gain wisdom, and then you have to live the rest of your life, you know, until it's your time to go, and then you get to see him again. And it's like one of those. And then if you choose none, then shame on you. You know, like
straight up.
I mean, I would want to choose. I'd want to choose God.
Mama, don't judge me for this. Fam, don't judge me for. I'm choosing $1 million.
Really?
Well, the reason why I say that is number one, I'm gonna die one day, so I'm gonna be before God one way or another. Two, I walk with God every day. I pray with God every day. I honestly have a relationship with God.
That's a great answer.
With that being said, I'm taking the $1 million because it's not that I'm putting money over God. I'm already spending time with God. $1 million is going to allow me to do for my family, for my friends, and set a foundation to set up generational wealth. So I'll take that opportunity. It's not that I'm going to ignore God, but I walk with God already.
Right.
You know, that is our Father up in heaven. So to me, it's a no-brainer, $1 million. Why am I going to give up $1 million for something I do every day anyways?
You know,
straight up. That's just me though.
That's one way to look at it. You know, I'm not really a materialistic person, you know. I know that shit can happen in your life, and in case of an emergency, it would be nice to have $1 million. But nowadays, $1 million can just go by like super quick.
$1 million ain't what it used to be.
It ain't what it used to be. And I don't know. There's just something about like meeting God. Like, but I'm also very nervous because it's like, what if he doesn't like me?
Listen,
this is just me overreacting. This is just me like.
I look at it this way. I got my accident. I got a taste of life after this one. And I can confirm there is a life after this one. And through all the chaos, the connection I felt with God, especially living now with everything I've been through.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you, like yesterday was crazy for me. I couldn't sleep. I honestly don't know what's going on. It's like, you know, when you're falling asleep, but then you feel like you can't breathe and you're falling and shit. It was like one of those things. And immediately I started praying because my mom has taught me when you're in a situation that you don't feel in control and you're not at peace, repent and, you know, pray to God and ask him to take whatever burden your mind's on to calm you and put you at peace. And I think, you know, not to go on a tangent, having a relationship with God is different from knowing about God. A lot of people know of God, but they don't have a relationship.
Right.
And why I say that is like, especially when I used to go to church, a lot of people think that, oh, because they go to church and they follow the schedule, that automatically means that they're good. But you have to have a relationship. And one thing that I have to say, and again, this is no disrespect to the elders, you never judge somebody for their relationship with God. Every person that has a relationship with God is custom.
Right.
It's between them and God. You don't weigh in and be like, oh, you gotta increase it. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what battles I'm fighting. That's between me and God. And with that being said, it's a no-brainer. Again, 100 million or choose something I'm already doing.
So 2 things. The first one is this is why I don't really hold grudges, or I don't really judge anyone, you know, based on their faith, etc. You know, my answer most of the time whenever somebody like irritates me or somebody questions like, oh, like, why aren't you upset with this person? Oh, this person should go to hell. Blah, blah. My answer is that's between them and God. And
it's exhausting.
You know, that person will get what's coming to them. They will learn their lesson. And, you know, if they want to, you know, beg for forgiveness, then, you know.
Listen, I was talking to my brother, my VP, right? And we were talking about, you know, relationship with God. I said, one thing I learned, I'm not trying to be like God, nor would I ever try to be like God. You know what I'm saying? I'm being myself.
Right.
And I think people confuse that when they talk about that because they think, oh, you have to behave like God. No. God,
right.
Mind you, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. That's why we repent and we ask for forgiveness.
Right.
Live your life and use the method that God has taught us and put in our hearts to honestly bless the world and to live a righteous life.
Which is why the second thing is like I would hate to pick in this scenario to pick God, meet him, and then him like deep down he's like, deep down I know you wanted to choose like the first one, like why did you come here? And I'm like, oh my God, you're absolutely right. And it's like, you know, that's selfish of me because deep down I would want to choose $1 million because
everyone's different.
I've always had a problem with accepting the way that I feel about certain things. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, it used to scare me that I would feel a certain way. So like, you know, I like Jason, you love to be honest and say what's on your mind. You're not scared to speak the truth. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, you know, like, you know, my teenage years and then very young, like, you know, 20, 21, mm-hmm. I would those would be like my inner thoughts. So you speaking out loud, like I would be thinking that and I would never want to say it out loud. And even having the thought of like, mm-hmm. you know, let's say you see somebody walking down the street that's acting completely out of pocket, like out mm-hmm. loud, you say, that's so disrespectful. That guy is like so out of pocket. And in my head, mm-hmm. I would think exactly what you're saying out loud. Mm-hmm. And I would feel guilty of just thinking it.
Well, you can't.
Yeah. You know, so I've always struggled with that. And mm-hmm. I had to come to terms with, I have to embrace that I feel a certain way. Like, no, I'm upset at you for making me feel this way. Mm-hmm. Or, oh my God, that person is being super disrespectful. You know, like voice my opinions in a respectful manner because I'm not disrespectful either.
I mean, be yourself, yo. I know I'm very shot out. And the reason I'm like that because number one, I'm on the journey of peace. And anytime you suppress what you feel or what you really want to say, it does more damage to you. You don't give that to people because number one, most people don't deserve that. Be who you are. Either they're going to like it or not. But either way, that's not your problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So Deathism Rock says he chose 5 minutes with the man above. And he also said he is God-fearing for a reason, but he will have enough answers to give you, which is worth than $1 million.
See, now when he says that, he has all the answers. You're right. He does.
Bro, I don't know if I want to know all the answers, though.
There you go.
Like, I've said it a few times in this podcast, and you can hate me on this. You know, sometimes I like to live in my own delusional world. Every time, you know, Jason or Lewis or my boyfriend like to talk about, like, you know, war or politics or, like the reality of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, can we talk about something else? You know, trust me, I hate myself for it, too, but I would rather die happy and delusional. And I know that sounds crazy.
What?
I know that sounds crazy. I don't mean delusional. It's probably a little dramatic. I mean like oblivious. Yeah, like just innocent. You know, just my
don't ask the questions to the things you don't want
answers for. Period. My coworker asked me this today. He's like, "What do you want out of life? Like, what's your goal? Like, what do you want?" And I said, honestly, not a lot. I just, you know.
Ignorance is bliss.
Bro, ignorance is bliss. But yeah. I said I want to eat good food, and I want to see good, and I want to see amazing art, and I want to hear amazing music, and I want to see everything that life has to offer, and I want to experience all of it before I die, and experience great epic love, which I'm already experiencing. So that's already one thing checked down on my list. But, you know, just experience like the good shit in life.
So final thoughts.
I think I would choose $1 million.
You choose $1 million? There's nothing wrong with that. My final thoughts on it. We all have a destination with God at the end of the day. That's inevitable. And with that being said, I will live my life and try to do my best. And when it comes to judgment, he knows my heart. And my mom used to ask me a question: if you were to die today, you know where you're going? And I can honestly say, I'm going to heaven. Yeah. The way I live my life, I'm not proud of the things, but because I'm willing to repent and ask for forgiveness, I'm never going to be perfect, nor do I ever want to be perfect. But I could acknowledge my mistakes and be wholesome and truthful. So,
you know, everyone's experience with death or and whatnot is always so different. Like, on the internet, you always hear different stories and different versions. And after knowing Jason, it kind of
Logic.
just. Sorry that I used your government name.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
After knowing Logic, I have become less scared.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, before I met you, what did I know about death? I've never had a near-death experience, or I've never had to experience someone close to me pass away, fortunately. But the thought of it always kind of like scared me a little bit, like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen, this and that. I haven't lived enough. And like after knowing you and talking to you, like everything in this life happens for a reason.
Facts. The book of life is written. We just get to choose which chapters we value the most. Straight up. So as you guys know, let us know what you guys would choose. Hit us up in the comment section. Hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think.
Thank you, Marvin, for the question. We really appreciate it. That was a really great question.
Also, keep in mind, we're still giving out those gift cards. So we're going to flip the script this time around. We're going... Next episode, we're going to post the card midway. We're going to give you a little bit and then the rest at the end. So make sure you tune in and follow, because it is first come, first serve.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. If you get the code, write that shit down, follow up, because that's the only way you're going to win. And this one's going to be nice. I ain't going to put the price on it, but trust me, y'all going to want it. So, Nate, take us into Am I the Asshole story that you fought for us today.
Okay, well, technically, it's not really Am I the Asshole. I know I wrote Am I the Asshole in the description.
It's all good.
But whatever.
Let's go.
Okay, so the title literally just says, "Is this cheating?" ?
Oh, shit.
So the story is about a male 23 and a female also 23. So this is my first post, so please be nice. Me, bisexual, 23 female, and my boyfriend, bisexual, 23 male, have been dating for almost a year and a half now. We were friends for around 3 to 4 years before dating, and one day he asked me to hang out with him, and that night he slept over, and we've been living together ever since. We moved into our first home together, and I couldn't be happier. The start was a little rocky, like every relationship, learning how to love each other in their right love languages and working through ourselves and our traumas from our past toxic relationships, healing. But we've never had a deal breaker argument, But at the end of the day, we loved each other. Or on my end, he was always my person. For the first 6 months of living at our new house, I had to cover his rent 3 times due to him being jobless / spending his money on things. He's always on and off with jobs. About a year into our relationship, he got a recommendation. Sorry, I keep losing my place. Like,
it's all good. Take your time. Sound out the words.
Jason, I know how to read. About a year into our relationship, he got a recommendation on Reddit for estrogen pills. I supported him completely. Even if I felt iffy, he was buying unknown pills off the internet just from a recommendation. He doesn't want to fully transition. He just wants to fill out. I didn't really see a change in him for the first couple months, other than his sex drive went down a lot, which is not to worry. We can work through that. I know it's TMI, but we used to have sex every day, or a form of it, to barely touching for days to even a week. At this time, I was working a full-time job where he was jobless. I was at work one day and he called to ask me for $7 for his Discord membership. I thought nothing of it, so I sent the money to him. A couple weeks go by and I have an inkling to go through his phone, and I'm not one to snoop, but the pills and him acting differently, so I decided to. I found out he asked me for money to pay for an OnlyFans subscription because he didn't have any money, when he was already subscribing to multiple free ones. I confronted him on it, and he basically just said I shouldn't feel that way because it's basically just porn, that I'm overreacting, and that he's more comfortable with his hand because his hand doesn't have expectations.
What?
But in my opinion, I'm working a full-time job and you just stole my money to go beat off to someone else. I was really upset and hurt. Fast forward 3 months, he's still jobless, and I get him a job to go down south to work for a week. He takes it, and I stay in town working full-time at my job. When he left, we stayed on the phone the first night, lovey-dovey talk until his phone was about to die, so we said goodbye and hung up. Felt like I had to go through his history again. Nothing was on his history, but it showed him actively using Grindr. Right after he just said he was going to sleep because his phone was dying, I found out he was been using Grindr and multiple different other hookup apps. I confront him the next morning and he starts off by saying he just uses it to find friends. He had met up with an 18-year-old trans guy behind my back and then brought him into our home because he thought we would be friends.
What?
Fast forward a year later, I never knew he met this 18-year-old on Grindr, sent them nude pictures, and possibly had sexual intercourse. I felt like an idiot because for the past year, I've been friends with this 18-year-old, not even knowing him and my boyfriend ever met. And they both decided to keep it from me. I brought up the fact that he's 18 and 5 years younger than my boyfriend, and that's kind of sketchy. And my boyfriend said it's because the 18-year-old lied about his age. So now I've realized my boyfriend has been on and off Grindr for our whole relationship, stealing money from me to go jack off to other people and cheating on me for God knows how long. I confronted him and tried to lie until he just admitted he has a problem and needs therapy. Now, usually I would be long gone. I've dealt with shitty relationships before and cheaters before. I'm currently 27 weeks pregnant with his child.
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm the only one working a full-time job. It's been about 2 weeks since he's been home. He still hasn't made a therapist appointment. And the last one is just a recap. It's been almost 2 weeks since I confronted him and he's been back in town. He still hasn't made a therapist appointment and he just keeps acting like everything is the same.
Okay. I'm going to cook on this one. But before I cook, you guys know how I get down. I won't keep it 100. I'm about to be, yo, I'm gonna tear into this shit, but I'll let you go first. What is your thoughts on that, yo?
Bro.
What the number one, it's a sickness.
Bro.
That is a sickness, bro. Sick. Not because of sexuality, but his way of thinking and his actions.
His behavior.
You're a straight up bastard, dog.
Bro,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you take it because I'm about to go in. What do you think, yo?
The story got progressively worse. Like at first, it's like, oh, they live together. Oh wow, he got an OnlyFans subscription and he lied. Oh my god, he downloaded Grindr. Oh my god, he met a. It's been a year, girl. Oh, you're pregnant.
Not
like the
working.
story just not working.
It gets worse as it carries on. Jesus and cheese.
Oh my god, I just.
Speak on it, love. I gotta hear your thoughts as a woman. What you think about this,
bro?
Holy crap!
And the super producer literally says, "Cut your losses."
Yep. When people show you who they are,
you are absolutely right. And you know what? That's it's just it sucks because when you, an unbiased person, hear relationship problems that another couple is having, your immediate thought is, "Bro, just break up. Like you're better off." And I wish it were that easy.
Well, she's stuck.
Because if you're sympathetic or you're empathetic for that person's, situation, you might come to think, okay, you love this person, you care about them, you want to give them the benefit of the doubt in hopes that they would change because you love that person. And you know what? We can all relate to that. But at some point, depending on the person, you really have to wake up and realize, is this person ever going to change?
What would you do if you were in that situation? Straight up. Get it out the mud. Say what you would really do, how you will handle it. And yeah, I want to know.
So the person that I am now, if I got into a relationship and it's been a few months and let's say he's jobless, that already puts me on edge. I'd be like, okay, it's you have been without a job for quite a long time. And it's one thing if you're actively looking to get a job and you're passionate and like about what you want to do, or, not just like you went to school and you have a great paying job. Like it could be something so minimal. As long as I see effort and drive in you to want to find a job and you still can't get it because the economy is bad, I understand. But then the second that I find out that you take my money and you buy an OnlyFans subscription
and you're on Grindr meeting people, which
I'm going to take up all those red flags and I'll be like, listen, I'm going to give you some time to get out and I'm going to stay with my parents. We can't be together.
So you're cutting off.
I'm cutting off because life's too short to be in a relationship where the other person doesn't respect you. But like the story first started off and she said, oh, like we slept the night and then we've been living together ever since. Girl, what?
I can't knock her for that, yeah.
I mean, if it literally happened that way,
okay,
I guess.
If I may, right?
Go ahead and cook.
Yo, Buddy's a straight piece of shit, and she's a dumbass. Okay, let's explain something. Let's tackle it down piece by piece. you two are together. You guys basically had a one night fling type shit, and you made a stick, and you made a relationship out of it.
But they were friends for years first.
It doesn't matter, in my opinion. It's you can't listen. We all have needs and we all have wants. I don't think you honestly couldn't ridicule a woman who gives it up with like in that situation. We're humans. And they're also adults. You know, just because if you're gonna judge her off of having sex with him, he also has sex with her too. You know what I'm saying? It's even across the board. I don't care if it's a man or not. Two wrongs don't make a right. But with that being said, let's dissect this. He doesn't have a job, right? And I can speak on this because one of my exes, I've been in a situation like that in the sense of got with shorty. And when I got with her, she lost her job. And mind you, this was fresh into the relationship. I didn't judge her for it. And the reason I didn't judge her for it is because it's what you do after that that allows you to make that judgment call. And again, if you're going to sit on your ass and do nothing, then there's going to be a real issue. But this is breathing grounds for a narcissistic person. And allow me to break down why. You are living with this person. You put the stress on them by not having a job. Nobody, it's not that people don't want to take care of their partner, but if your partner is going to take care of you, you at least got to make it worth it. You got to compromise. You got to make a union on it because it's hard out here, especially with the times, the way things are now. And for him, number one, to ask her for money to pay for OnlyFans. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't respect men who pay for OnlyFans, okay? And it's not the same as looking at porn. And
I was going to ask you that.
It's not the same.
Wait, can you pay for porn?
If you're stupid. You know, it's just
But it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing, guys. Reason why porn and OnlyFans are not the same thing. When you watch porn, and this is just my opinion, you don't have any connections with that person. You're not talking to them. You're not engaging.
Right.
OnlyFans is an engagement content type level where when you pay for these subscriptions, you're actually interacting. And in my opinion, that is fucking cheating. That is cheating because you are literally having conversations that you're not willing to have while your partner's there. That already lets you know you're in the wrong. Not only are you doing that, it's not your money. You lied about what it was for. That is manipulating. That is gaslighting. You are a true piece of shit.
Discord.
And this is where you have to ask yourself. And again, you could basically come from my neck saying this. The fact that he's bisexual, it makes it even worse because at least for my experience in dealing with that, you know, I've been with someone, but it's like you don't even know what you want. You don't. And it's always going to be an emotional roller coaster. Imagine this is a person that you're in a relationship with, and he's given his time and need to a complete stranger. While you're here defending him, while you're supporting him, that is betrayal.
I don't think... Okay, I think he doesn't know what he wants, but not because he's bisexual, just because of his fucked up, like, the way that he is, his behavior. But I think that people who are bisexual, like, obviously know what they want, you know what I mean?
Well, the reason why I say he doesn't know what he wants, it's hard for me to actually agree with that because you're on the flip side. You're pitching for both teams. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is,
but you can also flip it by saying, you know what you want both teams.
You could, but that to me is selfish.
Why?
And the reason is selfish because here he is messing with this girl and then you're going to go mess with a guy. That's emotions. That is emotions. It's not right for you to be engaged with one person and give the same, effort and support to a stranger that is not even working to earn your love. That's just right. And then to make matters even worse, as we go deeper into it, you're meeting people. Like, number one, like, the dude is shady. That's just wrong and shady. Right. It's like, you're introducing this person to him and you're doing shit with them. That is cheating. That's a slap to the face, especially given your situation that this girl is holding you down. There's a lot of men walking this earth that wish they had a shorty like that to hold them down while they don't got shit to their name. And here's this dude taking advantage of that. Not only that, you're a cradle robber, bro. You grown man. What you doing fucking with a young person? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you going to disregard your shorty? Then I have to look at her sideways because when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. Mm-hmm. Believe them. OnlyFans is a cesspool of bullshit. And the reason why I say that is if you're willing to pay for that service, you're willing to do other shit too. Straight up. That's just the iceberg. You're looking at the tip, but you're not seeing how big the problem is underneath the water. You get what I'm saying? Then the shorty's knocked up. Now, I don't know what her choice is.
I
but
literally forgot she was pregnant.
Like you're knocked up. You're stuck with this man for the rest of your life, and he's not even being a man. Regardless of his sexuality, he has to be a man, and he's taking full advantage of it. Clearly taking full advantage of it. Then to make matters worse, he's victimizing himself with his explanation. You know how disrespectful it is? Imagine if your man said, the reason I don't want to fuck you because I feel like I'm better with my hand. That is mental damage, emotional damage. I don't care who you are. That would mess up anyone.
That'll be my 13th reason.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, bro, how do you look yourself in the mirror? And with her, she needs to cut her losses short. I'm not saying for her to abort the baby. I'm not saying for her to keep it. But understand, mama, you got options. Because if you having this much problem early into the relationship, it's only going to get worse as you continue. So you need to ask yourself if this is something you want to put up with. And you can't be mad at nobody yourself because this decision ultimately relies on you. Men like that are not men. They're cowards. They want everything, but they don't want to be held accountable for the fuckery that they do. This is a sad, sad story. And then another thing that fucks me up is the whole grinder. How you on these apps? You don't have no income coming in.
Dude,
so
literally.
where is that income coming in to pay for that? And you meeting buddy, so you already know you spending bread. He's manipulating her. And then that's another thing. She didn't say if it was an open relationship or not. I think what ends up happening in most cases, people like that are so scared to be alone that they will hurt themselves in effort to keep something that's not worth having.
I know.
That's a dark place. Personally, I think this man deserves a beating worse than a fat man's heart, because for you to say that you're in a relationship, you care about this person, people who love you are not going to hurt you. One of the most profound things I ever heard, and this goes out to my OGSM Nick, love is not supposed to hurt. People have convinced themselves that love is pain. No, it's not. Love is not supposed to make you feel worthless. Love is not supposed to make you feel like you're not good enough. That's not love. That's manipulation. And sometimes our trauma that we go through puts up with that behavior because we're rather deal with hurting ourselves than be alone. And it's really sad. I'm disgusted by this story, yo.
Yo, you and everyone in these Reddit comments are absolutely coming at his throats. Like,
because he's a coward,
bro. People saying, grinder, whatever your partner tells you, it's only for hooking up. The fact that he has a gaslighter to think, no, like I just wanted to find friends. Go, that's what Bumble's for. Not even.
You have a friend. It's at home. You have responsibilities.
Right.
It's at home. You don't basically use it to your own personal gain. That's why I say that's a narcissistic ass piece of shit, bro. My final thoughts on it is honestly, shorty, get out while you still can. Get out, because the fact that you even brought this up on internet, on a Reddit, shows that you're not at peace. You already knew the answer to what you were asking. Now you commit to it, because if you don't commit to doing what's best for you, you're always going to be uncomfortable. You're always going to be not at peace, and you will reap what you sow. You make your bed, you lay in it, because at the end of the day, it comes down to a choice. You still choose to fuck with this individual, own it. And when it comes to that baby that you're now pregnant by, you got pregnant by somebody who's not going to be there for you. You got pregnant with somebody who's selfish and who's honestly just going to be an irritant towards your life. As a man, I seen dudes like that. It never works out. Don't think because it's you, it's different. No, because if he was for you, he would be for you. If he wanted to, he would. And once you understand that, it basically makes things easier. Get the fuck out of that situation. Bounce. Hear me out. Bounce. Because what's going to happen, you may not be strong enough to deal with, especially knowing now that you're bringing a kid in. This man doesn't even want to be a partner or a boyfriend or a loving person to you.
What makes you think he's going to be a dad?
Exactly, yo. Bounce. Your final thoughts.
Yo, man, I wish there was an update.
I mean, hopefully there is later down the line, but fuck.
I mean, hopefully she leaves him, because
nobody deserves that.
Yo. Everyone in the comments telling her, yo, just dump him. Like, he's an idiot.
That's foul, bro. That's foul. But So let's get into our next topic, y'all. So get this, right? I'm 37. I like older women. You know, a lot of shorties out. You got a problem with my age, woman?
Every time you say your age out loud, I can't help but just saying, damn.
Why?
It's funny.
Why?
It's the meme, Jason. It's the meme.
You trying to say something?
It's just for the memes.
Yeah. You trying to hurt my feelings? You think you funny?
No hard feelings.
No, I'm joking. All right. So, is it taboo for a young male to be with an older woman and vice versa? And why? So, what is your thought process, Nate, on younger dudes being with older women and older men being with younger women? How do you feel about that?
So,
Would you call it taboo?
just to
and if-
clarify,
Whatever you choose, why?
okay, so just to clarify, taboo, mostly for me, but for everyone. A social or religious custom prohibiting or forbidding discussion of a particular practice or forbidding association with a particular person, place, or thing.
Okay. So,
Okay.
we'll
So-
start with the women.
Okay, so ask me again.
Well, we'll start with the men. A younger woman being with an older male. Do
I
you
feel
think
like-
it's acceptable, or do you feel like it's taboo, and why?
That one's more taboo.
Why?
So based on the definition that I just read, something
Mhm.
like, forbidden or prohibited, throughout all of time, it was so socially accepted for an older man to wed a younger lady or
Yeah.
girl,
Especially with arranged marriages and
especially. And then, as time progressed, the older man started getting with a woman that was a little less younger, to the point where we had to put age restrictions, like 18 is the legal adult.
16 with parental consent,
Oh, I mean, yeah,
which is ridiculously
right.
criminal.
So I feel like it's more taboo that an older woman seeks a relationship with a younger man, because
Okay.
an older male seeking a relationship for a younger woman
Mhm.
has been so socially accepted for like all of history.
Okay, so with that being said, let's stay on the side with the older man being with the younger woman. Especially here in Miami, we hear a lot of times that women prefer an older guy. Well, why do you think that is?
So a lot of women, depending on how they were raised or their culture, etc., they're kind of raised to believe that they need to find a man to like take care of them.
Is that all women, you think?
No, it's definitely not all women. Just some women, some women are raised, their mom's telling them, hey, look, mira, make sure you find yourself a rich husband, and more often than not, the rich husband is always older than she is, And it's just about a sense of security.
Okay.
Feeling secure that you have somebody to take care of you, not like, and a lot of it, sometimes it has to do with like your parents wanting better for you. A lot of it also has to do with gold diggers. That definitely does exist. It's to each their own. Every person and every couple is different.
Okay.
But a lot of women seek an older man because more often than not, the older the man is, the more mature, more stable, wisdom, sexually experienced.
Theoretically, because it's not always the case. Sometimes
not always
some
the
of these
case.
older guys are more immature than a 16-year-old going through puberty, bro. I've seen that shit.
Right. Yeah.
If I may, right? I think, like you said, society has made it normal, has normalized it, especially throughout time. You would easily, especially in the Middle East, you'll find a 16-year-old getting married to like a fucking 50-year-old and everyone's happy about it. And you did bring out one point about women looking for security. And I think that's where a lot of shorties fuck up. Because you look for security, but you have to look for somebody who's for you. And a lot of times we see these situations where young shorties get with these older guys and they're at their mercy. Because I personally believe that a lot of males who are older who get with younger shorties are breeding them. Some are honestly in love and want to be there for them, but it's also the male chooses these young women because they don't want to put in the effort that they would with an older woman. They want somebody who's submissive and naive. And to me, that already lets you know you're taking advantage of it. Not in every case, but in the majority of cases. And I think that's something that should be looked at with a side eye because it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm 37. You know, I have a lot of young shorties who want to holler at a nigga, but the way I look at it is, as a man, I'm not willing to strip you from the days of your youth. That's not right. Because when you meet a young shorty out here, man, they're still living life. They still want to figure out things for themselves. And I feel like when men my age engage that, if their intentions are not pure, which most cases they're not, you're stripping her from her innocence. Because essentially, if you're financially straight, she's going to want to play what we call keep up. She's going to deny herself an effort to save something that she feels is going to better her life. And that's not always the case. So I say to you women, be careful on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all older men are foul, but time and time again, we see it. It's a process. Even we see it on these red pills. Oh, the reason we go for young women because they're able to have kids, their body count is lower. That has nothing really to do with it. It's the fact that most of these men are not mature enough to deal with a real woman. Straight up. I call it how I see it. That's my honest opinion. Now, as you switch over, me liking older women, that's my thing. I like older women. I have my reasons. I'll explain why. But I would like to hear your input on what are your thoughts with a young man being with an older woman, and how does that make you feel and why?
How does it make me feel? Doesn't make me really feel some type of way. I mean, I hear a lot of cougars, you know, a lot of younger guys are like, damn, I got with a cougar, you know, she's hot, she's experienced. And that's mostly it.
They're not always experienced, trust me.
I mean, we could probably shed some light on that because I mean, like literally all I hear from a younger guy getting with an older chick is that it's awesome.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. I call bullshit though.
I mean, I don't know. It's mostly physical. Correct me if I'm wrong.
In most cases, from what we see,
right?
It's not always the case, but from what's displayed out there, that's usually what we see.
Exactly. Because usually when a younger woman gets with an older guy, like I said, it's either a sense of security, whether if it's an actual relationship or just a sugar daddy. You know, it's not always
sugar mama.
It's not always physical for them. It's just like companionship, physically, if that's what they agreed on, or gifts, etc. For guys, I mean, guys like sex.
Oh, that's our love language.
I feel like that's all.
That's, you know, sex, believe it or not, for men is a very strong love language for us.
Right.
It's not just about bang, 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 bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love different. Like, women need to feel wanted, men need to feel loved. That's how it works. Because if your man doesn't make you feel wanted, you don't feel validated. And that's when you feel like, yo, what's wrong with me? And that's why I always tell men, it's important that you date your chick every day. It's important that you make sure that she knows that you're wanted by you. Because if she does not feel that, most cases are not, they'll seek validations from another person. Now, me, I like older women. My reasoning for that, number one, I blame pornography. And the reason why I blame pornography, believe it or not, this is just me, is, you know, when I was a kid, that's where, you know, I got it, you know, homies hooked it up with the tape, and it's a new world, right? But those tapes usually had older women. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it comes from. Also,
wait, but how old did they look?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't.
Because you were younger, right?
Yeah. So mind you.
Oh, so she probably could have been in her mid to late 20s.
Exactly, but I'm still young. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that has a big impact on it. Also, when it comes to me like an older women, it's not. I don't need a sugar mama. I make my own money. I could take care of myself.
Right.
My reasoning for liking older women is it's more peaceful. No games, no bullshit. Now, it's not always the case because there's a lot of shorties out here who are older and they act worse than a young chick. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I dealt with dealing with older women is the lack of confidence they have. And like, oh, you probably want her because she's younger or whatnot. And women naturally check each other out and compete with each other subconsciously without realizing it. Yeah. But with older women, it's more like I could be more at peace. I like vibing with them because I've always been ahead of myself when it comes to my mentality. I'm very mature when I was a young age. So it's like, mind you, I want to chill with a chick who could sit back and drinks on the rocks versus young chick shots. Like I don't want to deal with that. And I think a lot of has to do with men liking older women is a lot to correlation to your mother. And the reason why I say correlation to your mother, I'm not talking the physical aspect, but personality wise. Older women have, at least for me, have this aura where it's like, yo, everything is at an understood level. There's no interference. There's no hypothetical bullshit that could come into the relationship. And also, older chicks knows what time it is versus dealing with young chicks. I'm not willing to play the cat chasing the mouse game. Like, nah, yo, when you deal with older women, they know what time it is, yo. They're not with the shits. They're not with the bullshit. And to me, that's a plus. It's not always the case because sometimes you have what we call chameleons where I dealt with older chicks and they put on an image that wasn't real because once you get into them guts and you start doing your nah, me and your her, the whole tie switches over and you're like, yo, this bitch is crazy, But I do like older women because I feel like the way I live my life, the things that interest me, I have what they call an old soul, and that partners up great. When you're dealing with somebody, a chick who's younger, you have to deal with a lot of shit in the sense of you're always on the move. You're always moving. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking like a year younger than me. We're talking like 10-year gap. Imagine me at 37 being with a 25-year-old is going to be high stress because she's going to want to go out. She's going to want to live her life. I don't want to deal with that. But dealing with an older woman, she already did that. You know what I'm saying? She's calm. She's good. Now, here's the bad side about that. If I'm going to deal with an older chick, you know what I'm saying? You have to ask yourself, especially if you're going to take it serious, this is someone who's probably not going to be able to give you kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because her clock is already long overdue. Then you also have to ask yourself, are you willing to take that? Because just like younger chicks, older women have more baggage emotionally. And with that being said, are you willing to take on that job? Are you willing to take on that task to bring peace to that?
Or she might already have kids.
Or maybe have kids. Like I remember, when I was younger, I was messing with this one shorty. She was 36. I was 18. Her daughter, no, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I was 21.
Oh.
She was 36 and her daughter was 18 and they both liked me. What? Leo, if you see this, Leo, you put me in this situation. And one of the things that made it awkward, they invited me to dinner and whatnot. So I have the mom flirting with me, the daughter flirting with me, and they got an argument at the table. And I felt so uncomfortable because the daughter was flirting. The mom got mad. She's like, oh, and then she's like, and the daughter get me on. She's like, you don't talk to him like that. I don't know who you think you are, da-da-da. And she's like, I'm sorry, Poppy. She shouldn't talk to you like that. And it made me feel uncomfortable because it proved my theories. No matter what, whether it's daughter or mother or friends, women compete for the same men. You know what I'm saying? The same, like I had two women who wanted to deal with me and they're fighting. And I don't want to deal with that personally.
You know what's aggravating? Just to switch up a little bit on the subject, not being a girl's girl. There is nothing more disappointing than finding out that that a girl she's just not sticking up for you, or she's stealing your man.
But that's the thing. You guys don't have a real sense of loyalty if you think about it. How can you be loyal to your friend if y'all going after the same caliber of men?
Okay, look, if you and your girlfriend are into the same type of guy, you could either it's okay. The two are not mutually exclusive. You can have this. You can have the same type of men, an interest in the same type of man, but also be loyal to your friend and be respectful.
Real quick, Tyrone say, I'm sorry I'm late, friends. It's all good, baby. Thank you for tuning in, dog. Thank you for tuning in. I agree with what you're saying. What I have witnessed, and please confirm, because you being a woman, you have homegirls out there. I feel like women, and I said it once, I say it 1,000 times, women hate on each other secretly, and they hide it in the form of support. Like you'll see a shorty be like, yo, don't deal with that nigga, man. He ain't shit. Yeah. And the whole time she's telling you that, she's on the back pedal texting the man that you're interested in. It's survival of the fittest because, again,
she's not a girl's girl.
She's not.
She's a guy's girl.
But it's in your nature, because what do you guys look for? Security. And especially the way I look at it, younger girls versus older girls. Right, there's a hate coming from it because the older women already fucked up and they see a potential and they don't want to lose it to a younger chick. So that brings on hating. And then a lot of times we see it on the Kardashians, we see it on all these reality shows.
Man, fuck those reality shows.
But what I'm saying is we see so many times these women give false advice to these younger girls to mess them up. So it opens up the doors for them. You know what I'm saying? That's foul. That's what women do. Your worst enemies, you never heard that saying, your single friends will keep you single? There's a reason for that, because at least to me, and men be doing foul shit too, but I feel like real men, we have such a strong brotherhood when it's real that we're not willing to do that. Versus I always see women never with the same friends. They always play musical chairs with their friends. You know how many times
and that's disappointing.
It is. How many times have you had a homegirl who's like, oh, this is my best friend? You had a different best friend like a month ago. You had a different best friend a year ago. Like you're constantly playing musical chairs, and that's a problem.
So I saw this TikTok. It was a clip from a podcast. I forgot the name of it, but it was these two girls. They were talking about this situation exactly. Well, not exactly, about how frustrating it is when, let's say, you get into a relationship. You know, like me, I'm a girl. I got into a relationship and I have one of my girlfriends saying, I never see you anymore. You're always with your man.
Misery needs company. You
know, and it was the way that she approached it. You know, instead of saying, hey girl, you know, I haven't talked to you in a while and I really miss you. Can we, like, I would love for us to meet up and have lunch so we can, like, you know, and you can tell me all about your new relationship that you're in. I know, and I'm so happy for you. Like, that's different, you know, but like you said, exactly, your single friends will keep you single, and it really just depends on the person. And then that's when their true colors start showing, and it's disappointing because it's like, girl, I thought you were my friend.
I have a question for you, right? Like, why is it, and I see this shit all the time, where I'll see a shorty meet up with her friend.
Sorry, Roberto's like, tell her your man's got boys, lol, JK.
Shit, you wish. I see all the time a lot of shorties will be like, oh, hey girl, what's up? Da, da, da. And then as soon as that person leaves, I can't stand that bitch. Like, then why are you chilling with him? Why
George?
Why are so many modern women like that? Like that, to me, that would scare me. I find that snake as fuck, because, not gonna say names, we had that one coworker I told you about. You know, I'm at the gym chilling with her, and I was like, oh, so I see you. Oh, no, I can't stand that bitch. She's older than us. I don't even know why she hangs around. Da da da. But then I go to work and you're keying and ha-haing with her. Like, what? How does that make sense? Like, if I don't like a dude, I'm not going to basically invest any time with that person. I'm not going to be like, hey, what's up, dog? And then when they're gone, talk reckless behind their back. That is absurd to me. Why is it that I see so many modern women do that? Do they not have no shame? Like, what do you think about that?
Okay, I'm going to answer that. But before I forget my thought, I'm also going to ask you, what is it with men and being with women that are like that? You know, they have a girlfriend and they're like, damn, you know, his girlfriend is not a girl's girl. She's a girl's guy, where she hates on women or she gossips. And it's like, you know, the exact same type of woman that you're talking about, except she's got a boyfriend. And it's like, why? Like, I get it. You know, men love being with women. They're beautiful, like physically, sex and all that stuff. But like, for reals, have you no morals? Like, I don't know. Like, I would feel some type of way if my partner spent most of his time talking shit about like his homeboys or like hating on men or just not being supportive. I'd be like, why are you just not nice to people in general? Like, and then when it comes to girls, you're like super nice. You know what I mean?
Well,
but let me go back to your question.
Thank you.
It's just, to be honest, I don't surround myself with those type of girls.
Okay.
Like, it's like, since the longest that I could remember, I just don't.
I mean,
because I don't feel the need to, and I don't genuinely understand how some girls can be like, oh my god, girl, hi, what's up? Oh, I love that, yeah, and then she walks away. Oh my god, I hate her. Like,
but you see, I
can't stand her, and it's like, why
bother?
Why are you such a hater?
A lot of girls are haters, man, and they hide it in the form of love. I try to tell a lot. That's why I say always watch your friends and how they move, whether male or female. Always watch the friends that try to do what you do. You know, like I had homeboys I was cool with. I'll say a joke, and dudes will steal my joke. I wasn't upset for them stealing my joke. I was upset that they're trying to copy my
Bro.
personality. You know what I'm saying? That's a dangerous thing. Having envious people around you is like basically having a loaded gun pointed at your head at all times.
Dude, they see your personality, they're like, damn, I like that. I'm gonna take that.
It's like, okay, I say, how you doing, love, right?
Uh-huh.
I got homeboys I'm not cool with because I noticed it, we call it swagger jack. They all say, like, how you doing, love? I'm like, you don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't move like that. Why are you moving like me?
You don't find that as a compliment that people love?
Hells no.
They're like, damn, Jason's that bitch. He's got that personality.
No, I find it insulting because you're not real. You're willing to live in another man's shadow. That is some weird shit. It's like those people who try to basically, like Drake, perfect prime example. You have a whole bunch of lookalikes and they're okay with living in another man's shadow. That's weird, bro. That's weird. And it's disgusting in my opinion. And with that being said, Joe, like I think, at least for me, when it comes to that, like, you know what you like, you know what you want to do. It's like the friend that tries to holler at your ex. You know what I'm saying? What is that all about? That's weird to me. Why do you want what I had?
You
or
get
have?
it, girl? We can't be together. We can't be together.
You know
Can't
what I'm
be
saying?
friends.
Like, but you feel me? Like, that's just so awkward, especially, and it's now considered normal now. Like, that's not normal behavior, man. People always gonna want what you have, but if they want what you have, they're never gonna appreciate what they got. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird place to be, which is why I stick to myself. Again, I don't have no problems with it, but I'm me. I don't try to be like anybody else. And I don't want to be around anybody who's not confident in who they are or know who they are, because that's a dangerous thing. The ones closest to you, betrayal only comes from those you know, not people who are strangers. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand, especially women. You know how many times it's like, yo, a homegirl would be like, oh, just to let you know, she's doing this, she's doing that. And it's not that they're even looking out for you. They say that in hopes that you basically put them in the place of their homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Women, at least, not all, but modern women are savage, like savage. Another thing you talked about was like women that don't like to chill with other girls that usually chill with homeboys. See, I have a problem with that. And
oh my God, the type of girl that's like, you know, there was this skit
I chill with
on
guys
Instagram.
because it's less drama.
Because there's drama. Oh my God, there was a skit that perfectly encompassed this scenario where this girl, you know, it's a group of guys and one girl, and then another girl gets introduced to the group, and she's like, "Oh my God, girl, I've literally never seen you around. Just let you know, like, oh my God, you came with Josh. Oh, you know, Josh and me are super close." Blah, blah. And she's like, you know, trying to be nice, but she's being fake as fuck. And you want to know, at the end, the girl that came with Josh, they were siblings.
Oh wow,
they were siblings, and she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know her." And she's like, "Bitch, shut the fuck up! Like, stop being fake."
Facts. That's what it is. Okay,
bruh.
So, do you think it's wrong for me to feel some type of way? Like, if I'm dealing with a chick and I see she has a lot of homeboys, me personally, I exit out. I'm not willing to deal with that. Do you think that's wrong?
I don't like to judge a book by its cover.
Okay.
You know, definitely give them the benefit of the doubt, because you would hate to be in a situation where, let's say, you're confronted and then you give them your mind explanation. Okay, this is why I didn't want to like hang with you, and then they call you out on it, be like, "Oh my God, did you even give it a chance?" Like, you know, and then they give you all these reasonable facts, and they're like, "Oh," and then you look like an idiot, and like this is the stuff that goes on in my head. So I'm like, okay, I make sure I present facts. Or, you know, logical reasoning as to why I decided not to hang out with you, because then you can't gaslight me or manipulate me into thinking.
So how would you feel
else?
If your man's that you're with now, if he had more homegirls than guys, like he chilled with more homegirls than guys, how would that make you feel and why? I
would definitely make me feel some type of way.
Why?
And why would it not make me feel some type of way?
I mean, he loves you. He wants to be with you. So why would it be an issue if he hangs with other girls?
not that it's an issue, it would make me feel some type of way.
Why?
So deep down, I'd be cautious. I'd be like, okay, without any context, why don't you have more guy friends, or like what's up with that? Like, I want to know the story. I want to know the details. So I would give it a chance. I wouldn't say anything. I would keep it to myself, and I would, ask a few questions, and I would, be around the group and feel out the vibe of the friendships, and be like, did you ever, date one of your girlfriends? Or
But what about if he says, because a lot of shorties say they hang with more guys than girls because it's less drama. What about if he says the same thing? How would you receive that?
I'd be like, bitch, stop lying. Girls love tea and they love the gossip. If you would have said, oh, they just love to gossip and it's just super interesting, I'd be like, you know what? I believe that, because
Ty says it's the man. It's not the man, it's the women. They slick. I think, yeah, you're right, but it goes both ways. Like, to me, again, you could call me shallow. It's just, I'm not willing. I know what I'm willing to deal with. I know what I'm not willing to deal with. So when I see a shorty that's cool with multiple guys, it's not that I think she's a hoe. That's not what I'm thinking.
No,
what it comes to mind is, I can't do nothing with this individual because there's going to be constant disrespect to the relationships. The way I look at it, if you're going to engage with somebody, that becomes your job. That becomes your responsibility. And because I'm a guy, I know how men are. You know what I'm saying? And the same reason why you're uncomfortable with your man being cool with multiple girls is because you know how women are. You know what I'm saying? And I think there comes like a type of rift that comes in, because when you try to explain that, the first thing, oh, nah, you're just thinking style. Is like, no, I know my people. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know how men are. And the thing is, every girl right now, I don't care what any woman says, every girl right now in their phone, there is a guy that they know likes them. I call it how I see it. And because I know that, I don't feel like dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Because for a girl to say, yo, I chill with mad guys because it's less drama. Well, out of all those guys, multiple of them would basically want to be more than just friends.
Let me tell you why. And I'm going to jump off of what you just said. So some majority of the guys do a good job of like not being of being very subtle with like their feelings to like their friends that are girls.
Yeah.
And a lot of girls are like, oh, I like hanging out with guys because, the girls, I feel like they hate me, or it's less drama and this and that. And it's like, no, you don't realize this, but you like hanging out with the guys because
like
more than half of them
you like the intention.
See you as a pretty girl, and they're like, you know what? Maybe I have a shot. And you know what? And some guys on the back of their head, they're not gonna like disrespect a girl like that, especially if you're pretty. Maybe they have a chance.
Till the opportunity presents itself.
Till the opportunity presents itself, and it sucks because to the girls, it's like, I like my guy friends, because we can have genuine conversations and that, and in the back of their minds, it's like, it's nice to have a genuine friend, and then in the back of his mind, it's, I just want to fuck. And that's what's very unfortunate, because it's like,
yeah, but also I feel like a lot of women, not all, I can't say all, I can only go based on what I experienced and what I've seen. Women love attention. And I think that's
true. Some women do love attention.
Women like attention. If my attention that I'm giving her is not enough, then I have no business dealing with you. If my attention if the attention I'm giving you is not enough and you go seek attention from your male friends, I don't need to be with you. I don't. And the reason why, because I know how this works. I know how this plays out. Because what alarming to me is, if a girl has more homeboys than she does have homegirls, when we have a problem, you're going to go to your male friends. And I'm not willing to basically gamble or deal with that. You could say I'm being shallow. You could say that I'm not being confident in myself. No, I'm confident in myself, but I also avoid problems like cancer. I don't like it.
Right.
And the reason why I don't like it is because, again, I know how men are. So if you're going to get mad at me, I already know dudes is trying to smash you. You're going to go over there whenever we have an issue. Why would I give myself that headache? And a lot of times shorties will be like, oh, it's because you're not confident and you're insecure. It's not even about that. It's about respect. You know what I'm saying? And it works both ways. Just like if I'm with some chick and I have a lot of homegirls, But when I'm in a relationship or dealing with somebody, I cut that off because I have to respect it, because if I don't respect it, number one, I'm disrespecting myself and I'm disrespecting somebody I'm trying to build with. It is my responsibility as a decent human being that's pursuing a relationship or in a relationship to build the confidence and take away all doubts and all insecurities that I'm in control of. When I say in control of, I mean the choices I make. The shit I can't control, that's purely on you.
Mhm.
So final thoughts before we close out today.
So Roberto actually made a comment saying, yeah, especially the cholas, like the ones from Hialeah.
I like chongas. And
Cholas.
another thing too,
Uh-huh.
what I noticed is shorties, this is how I know I'm not wrong. Shorties who have a lot of male friends, they have conversations that they're not willing to have in front of their partner when they're talking to their boys on the phone. That already lets you know there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times that, and again, you could say that I'm being judgmental, but if you have homeboys, you pick up the phone and you have to walk away to talk to them, that's a heads up like, yo, you're doing something you're not supposed to do. I'm not willing to play that game. I'm good off that. I'm 37 years old. I was born at night, but I wasn't born at last night. You know what I'm saying? So final thoughts, love.
Oh man. I think that's sufficient enough as an answer, because I think in general, just be a good friend, because like, I don't know. To me personally, you know, I definitely value my friends. I love all of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so all your homeboys right now that you're in a relationship, do you keep in contact with them still, or you just kind of just?
I mean, just you and Lewis are my homeboys.
Okay.
I mean, I have like, this is like, so I mean, I know guys that I once like talked to, and then now obviously I don't. And there's a difference between having like friends and then homeboys, homegirls, and then like your outer groups that you don't really talk to. It's like I know guys, but they're not my homeboys.
Not to go on a tangent, I do have another question for you.
Okay.
You know, I have said that every girl has boys in their phone that they know is feeling them more than just a friend, right? Mm-hmm. With that being said, if you know, not you particularly, I just wanted to understand, why is it that women, if they know they're not interested in the guy they're friends with and they know that guy likes them, why do they entertain it? Like, what's that all about? Because like the way I look at it, if I know a shorty's feeling me, I'm not going to be friends with her if I'm not interested. Like, I'm going to cut that off. Why do you think women aren't willing to do that?
Why they're not willing to cut off a man that she knows she's not interested in, but
she knows that she knows that they want her. Why entertain that? Probably
the same way why some men want to keep a woman around and not cuff her and not be official with her. You know, for the attention, like they just want to string them along. They love all the benefits and the rewards without the actual responsibilities. So for women, it's practically the same thing. You know, if she's super independent, she's a baddie, and she's, you know, living her life, doing her own thing, and she has a guy friend that she thinks he's kind of cute, and you know, it gives her attention. Like, wow, like this guy, but you know, kisses the ground that I walk on. But I don't want to be in a relationship, and I definitely don't want to be in a relationship with him.
So why not be real and fucking cut ways with that person? Because the way I look at it, truthfully speaking, all you're doing is fucking that person up.
Right. But not a lot of people see it that way. They just, like you said before, they just like the attention.
I think that's dangerous, man. That's dangerous, because I can't respect people like that personally.
Right.
I can't. I won't. I would never respect that, because at the end of the day, you're giving hope to something that's never gonna happen. If you know you don't like ladies, just hear me out, bro. If you know a guy likes you and he's feeling you and you have no intentions in being with him, do that man a favor and cut him off and don't fuck with him. Because as long as you keep entertaining it, all you're doing is damaging him. And you could say, well, that's not my fault. I'm not good. I'm not feeding him those feelings. He feels the way he feels. It's like, but you know what it can essentially do. You know that it's not even the friendship you value. You just like the benefits. Like, you're wrong for that. Because if you genuinely cared for that person and you were really a friend, I can understand it then. And even then, still will be a problem. I just say, women, it's a dangerous game to play because essentially, you know, you're hurting that person, and karma's a bitch and it's unforgiving. Do yourself a favor, be a big girl, walk away. And the same thing goes to men. If you have a shorty out there who would basically worship the ground you walk on, but you know you have no intentions of dealing with a girl, be a man. Cut yourself away from that person, because sometimes you can't come back. People go based on hope and possibility, well-wish thinking. And I think you're a bad person if you're willing to entertain that, knowing that you have no intentions of actually catering to it and nurturing it.
Roberto said it best. He said, wife saved me and I love her giving me all the attention that all I need is her. Period. Because I love when my man gives me attention. You know, I told him the other day, I'm like, I get nervous when I talk to just people that I don't know in general. Like if you're a woman, if you're a guy, you know, and you know, they just come up to me and start conversating, I'd be like, that's just my social anxiety. I'd be like,
facts.
I don't need your attention. My man's attention is all I need.
See, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I honestly feel that's the way it's supposed to be. To think otherwise, I think you're a piece of shit.
Honestly, I just need to work on it a little bit more because it's good to make friends, you know. Nice,
true.
You know, girlfriends.
Well, with that being said, as we close out, yo, let them know where they can find you.
You guys can find me on my Instagram. It's Natalie, 2 I's, 2 E's _01.
And it's your gearhead, Mr. Logic. Yo, you can find me at Logic142 on Instagram. Hit us on the 1424 podcast Instagram as well. Let us know what you thought about today's session and let us know what you would do in these scenarios, especially with the Am I the Asshole story. I would love to hear your guys' inputs on that one. Also, keep in mind, your boy with my engineer and Bert, we are hitting up Vegas next month. We'll be out there. Definitely, we're going to do some vlogs. We're going to do some interviews.
Minus me.
You said you can't go.
Unfortunately, they invited me too late.
My bad. But
it's okay.
There'll be second.
It's all jokesies. I'm not upset. It's fine.
Well, there'll be other times for that. There'll be other opportunities. Trust me.
Definitely
we still
vlog.
Go, yes, and we still have to go to Busch Gardens. But with that being said, look for us, yo.
Yes, and be on the lookout for our next live. You know, we're gonna be
leaking out information for a gift card for y'all.
The gift cards information. We're gonna show the gift card on screen, super quick. The
half
actual
now, half later. You'll get the barcode, and then you'll get the last 4-digit code. Make sure you pay attention because again, whoever's smart enough to jot that down, screenshot it, whatever. First come, first serve. So
yeah, we're gonna make you guys work for it this time.
You're last. Keep that in mind. And also, when we're out there in Vegas, we're gonna basically be doing vlogs. So definitely to our viewers that are out there in Vegas, come check us out. We'll be in Fremont. We'll be on the Strip. And you know your boy's a foodie, so you might see me getting fat at In-N-Out, Hell's Kitchen, one of those places. And we're gonna pop Lewis's cherry on this one, yo. Yeah. He's a little antisocial, but we gonna record it. Gonna
honestly,
be some fun shit.
How do we find friends if we're so socially awkward?
I don't know.
How the hell do we make friends?
If I want to be in a relationship, I gotta go out. I think that's my biggest problem. It's like, I want to be with somebody. I want to honestly be in a relationship. I also want you to leave me the fuck alone. Like I'm in a weird place. But with that being said, make sure if this is your first time, you hit that like and subscribe button, yo. And as you know, this is one thing for show, two things for certain. Thank y'all for tuning in with us, yo.
We didn't mess it up.
Love y'all.
Woo.
Let's go.
I'm proud of you. You didn't mess it up.